Hello, I'm Charles Bryan, and this is the discussion board post for week 6 of Education 631, Liberty University. Today I'd like to talk to you basic findings through this week's exercises on copyright. And I have to admit that this week's topic of discussion was an eye-opener for me in regards to how one appropriately utilizes intellectual property. Truth is that I really didn't have a firm understanding of copyright law protections until I had actually gone through this period of instruction and reading through the text. I think the most surprising aspect of what I learned this week was the fact that copyright notices don't necessarily need to be visible at the time or present for the protection of intellectual property to exist. I think that it is important to note, however, that a person who wants to protect their intellectual property does need to properly register it. Otherwise, the owner cannot seek damages if the property is infringed upon or used improperly. Simonson, Smithville, Albright, and Tevick, 2012, articulate, and I quote, "A work must be registered before a plaintiff can collect statutory damages in the event of an infringement." It's located on page 295. Now, from an educational vantage, I thought it was interesting to discover that the images located on the internet are not free for the taking. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I'll willingly admit that there's been times when I've gone out to Google Image and utilized images that are out there and various other images within the internet for different types of trainings that I've produced, especially when utilizing PowerPoint as part of my medium for producing the instructional period. Uh, Ramsey, Colin, McLaughlin, and Martha, 2012, specifically advised educators to be aware of what images they are uploading to the web. This, of course, can create problems with the fact that these images may, in fact, be copyrighted when educators are utilizing them for digital imagery for educational purposes, like I said in PowerPoint. Spector, 2008, illustrates that the problem for educators arise when dealing with intellectual property because the cost related to the total sum transaction and or the licensing fees, which can cause a great financial burden to the mediums in which primary instruction method is dependent upon learning objects. It's located on page 351. Overall, this week's discussion illustrated that there is a lot about copywriting that I certainly didn't know, and then obviously I think that a lot of other persons didn't know and or clearly understand. Research has demonstrated that the majority of college students surveyed about copyright procedures failed to obtain the right answer. Chu, Chan, and Wu, 2007, page 1082. Overall, when looking to create the course online that could potentially require a person and or educator to utilize copyrighted intellectual property, probably best not to use it at all if you don't clearly understand whether, one, the image is copyrighted and or whether it's a free-for-all use that's located out there, versus running the risk of infringing on somebody else's property. This is my discussion post again for week 6 for Education 631. Thank you and God bless.